At 5, some area medical lodge employees say they've been suspended for not being vaccinated.
House lawmakers are split on a Senate-passed $1 trillion infrastructure bill. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House, where President Biden needs more Democratic buy-in for the measure to pass.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some medical lodge employees say a staffing shortage is due to a vaccine mandate. This is KOAM News at 5. In our Making It Work report, as we told you last week, Medical Lodge has moved residents from the Girard facility to one in Frontenac due to staffing shortages. Well, now some unvaccinated employees say they were suspended because of a vaccine mandate.
But that's what they done. You could work up until the 17th at midnight, and after that you were on automatic suspension if you hadn't already received your COVID vaccination.
A spokesperson for Medical Lodges says they've been struggling to attract more employees even before the vaccine mandate was announced. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Freeman Health System is trying to help the efforts. Experts say 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime, and early detection of the disease can make a world of difference. A Freeman doctor and breast cancer patient today discussed the importance of regular screenings.
I've been religious to have mammograms every year. I have a lot of friends that are my age that say, I don't think I need one anymore, if it's there, it'll go slow, all of that kind of stuff. And I said, no, my insurance pays for it for once a year, so I'm going to have it. And there's no reason not to.
Freeman's hosting several events through the month of October to raise awareness of breast cancer, including a purse raffle and free mammograms on the 15th. Nick Kelly, unseasonably warm out there.
And thankfully quiet as we get this new work week and school week underway. Dow, partly to mostly sunny skies is what we've seen all day long. Still seeing a fair amount of cloud cover from our vantage point on the east side of Joplin. We have kept things pretty quiet, even though we've got a good south breeze to send us into the upper 80s so far this afternoon. With that said, I'm still watching this upper level wave across parts of New Mexico and Arizona. That is going to be our next big weather maker. Not until we hit Wednesday, though. We're looking okay to start the evening out, but temperatures definitely on the warm side. Mid to upper 80s for most, maybe a few spots in our far western counties in the lower 90s, but everyone's going to drop back down through the 80s this evening, down to 74 by 10. I'm thinking most of us around 64 degrees tonight. We'll time out when our next chance for rain will return and how temperatures look for the rest of the week here in a bit.
See you then. This could be a decisive week for President Biden's legislative agenda as the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure package, which has already been passed in the Senate, is making its way through the House. Skyler Henry has more details from the White House.
The House has begun debate on a nearly $1 trillion infrastructure package.
I'm never bringing a bill to the floor that doesn't have the votes.
However, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has pushed back the vote on the bill from this afternoon until Thursday as she attempts to shore up support for the plan. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, the head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, says she has at least 60 votes to block the infrastructure bill. Progressive Democrats are demanding the House and Senate first pass a $3.5 trillion spending bill that includes new funding for the child tax credit, universal pre-K, home health care, and much more.
If somebody wants less than $3.5 trillion, tell us what you want to cut. Do you want to cut the child care? Do you want to cut paid leave? What is it you want to cut? And then let's figure it out from there.
Last night, 2 moderate House Democrats announced they would support the spending bill to get infrastructure passed. With Democrats holding a slim majority in the House and an even 50-50 split in the Senate, President Biden needs even more Democratic support if he hopes to pass either bill.
I think things are going to go well. I think we're going to get it done. And I have meetings tonight, tomorrow, and for the next little bit.
Republicans are unanimous in their opposition to more spending.
A $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that is mostly socialism, giving things away for free and wasting the taxpayers' dollars.
Some Democrats agree they'll likely have to cut the price tag down from $3.5 trillion in order to get it passed. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Republicans say they will also not support an increase in the spending limit, which could lead to a government shutdown. That measure pays for spending already authorized by Congress and does not cover either the infrastructure bill or the spending bill being debated on Capitol Hill now. Jurors today found R&B superstar R. Kelly guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking. The charges were based on an argument that the entourage of managers and aides who helped the singer meet girls and keep them obedient and quiet amounted to a criminal enterprise. Sentencing is set for May. Kelly has also pleaded not guilty to sex-related charges in Illinois and Minnesota. Trial dates in those cases have not yet been set. Federal investigators are examining overturned rail cars and a stretch of tracks as they try to determine why an Amtrak train derailed in rural Montana over the weekend. The accident killed 3 people and hospitalized 7 others. The westbound Empire Builder was traveling from Chicago to Seattle when it left the tracks Saturday afternoon near Joplin, Montana. A 5.8 magnitude earthquake today struck the Greek island of Crete, killing 1 man and injuring 9 people. Authorities report extensive damage, mostly in older buildings. Schools are closed for the day. Greek fire services have mobilized forces in the region. Still ahead, a growing vacation trend.
Luxury living inside a hotel. I'm Wendy Gillette with a look at why private residences inside hotels are gaining popularity during the COVID pandemic.
And next in Health Watch, the National Institute of Health investigates whether a COVID vaccine could impact menstrual cycles. Topping today's Health Watch, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused the biggest drop in life expectancy worldwide since World War II. Researchers at Oxford looked at 29 countries spanning Europe and the U.S. and found that almost all saw a reduction in life expectancy in 2020. In most of the countries, men saw larger declines than women. The worst was in the U.S., where men's life expectancy fell more than 2 years from 2019. Thousands of women are reporting a potential side effect of the COVID-19 vaccine when it comes to monthly cycles. Well, now the National Institutes of Health is launching a study to see if there is a possible connection. Dina Demetrius reports.
When Dr. Catherine Lee got her COVID vaccine, she experienced something unexpected.
I ended up with really strong cramps and a little bit of breakthrough bleeding after both vaccines.
After a friend and fellow scientist had similar changes after the shot, they created a survey that has received more than 150,000 responses describing excessive or more frequent bleeding, more pain, and missed periods.
The information that we have is anecdotal.
Now the National Institutes of Health has launched a new study to investigate if there's a connection between COVID-19 vaccination and monthly cycles. Dr. Diana Bianchi is leading the research.
I can't stress enough the importance of having a control group to be able to dissect out whether it is actually the vaccine that's causing the changes.
The research may also provide information for women concerned about the short and long-term effects of the vaccine on reproductive health.
How helpful do you think it is to do a study like this while there's such a push to get the COVID vaccine in general?
I believe that there's a certain percentage of people who are hesitant because they don't have enough information. And that's our goal, is to provide information and reassure people that whatever changes occur with the menstrual cycle are temporary and that they do not affect your fertility.
COVID is really bad. It makes people very sick. And having a couple of months of cramping or spotting for me personally is totally worth the protection.
Dr. Lee is also looking to expand her survey into a formal study. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Researchers in the UK are also planning to study the possible connection after almost 30,000 reports of monthly changes. People who are more prone to stress may also have an increased risk of heart disease. Researchers in Greece tested about 100 volunteers and found that those who were more sensitive to the stress hormone cortisol had a higher risk of stroke and heart attack. Based on the study, the authors believe better stress management may also improve heart health. Young boys who play sports in early childhood are less likely to face depression and anxiety as they grow up. The study from the university found that 5-year-old boys who did not play sports were more likely to look unhappy or tired, have difficulty having fun, cried a lot, and appeared more fearful or worried as they got older. Researchers did not see the same outcomes for young girls. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a major U.S. airline is fined more than $1 million for long delays on some flights.
Plus, we're keeping an eye on our next upper level low in the desert Southwest. We'll see if that will bring rain chances our way when we come back.
Tuesday morning, the library.
It's our first full week of the fall season, but Mother Nature made it feel like late summer once again, with temperatures back above normal, just like we wrapped up the weekend with yesterday, especially with highs topping out in the upper 80s. We did drop back into the mid to upper 60s this morning, most spots around 66, 67 degrees. Then we topped out right around 87. So far this afternoon, the Joplin Regional, we did it again because even with a little bit of cloud cover passing through, a good south breeze with the quiet skies and dry air, that's what sent us back into the upper 80s for this afternoon, not threatening any record highs for this date, and we'll check those numbers tonight at 10. In the meantime, though, we're seeing nothing on the radar network, but that's going to change as soon as we hit the middle of the week. For now, though, any cloud cover we are seeing, it's a non-threatening kind. Looking good from 7th and Rangeline, 87 to Joplin with the south breeze at 15, and the humidity is still quite low at 33%. So that definitely feels pretty good to be outside, even with temperatures this warm. Mainly in the mid 80s on the Missouri side. Then you hop over to state line. We have mainly upper 80s to even a few lower 90s across parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, our corners of both states at least. And again, quite an impressive warm up after our mild start this morning because of a south breeze throughout the day. And that's not even including these gusts that we can pop up for you here. We've had gusts at times pushing 20, 25, and almost 30 miles per hour. This breeze, like last night, is going to lighten up as we go throughout the course of the evening. And with generally quiet skies still in place, we'll drop to 74 by 10, 71 by midnight. But I think we'll drop back into the mid-60s overall as we head into tomorrow morning. Nothing happening in our immediate area. We are seeing some more cloud cover out west that'll head our way during the overnight hours. At the surface, no big systems to show here, but we are definitely watching this next cold front that will definitely come into play later on. But in the short term, upstairs, we're definitely on the warmer side of the jet, but this upper low that's been taking its time rolling across the desert Southwest, that is what's going to start to bring rain chances back our way. It's not for tonight, though. Even though we'll keep with partly cloudy skies, we'll have overnight lows drop back into the mid-60s. We can see how we look for tomorrow afternoon. Generally quiet, but I think a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. So we'll go with partly sunny skies throughout the day with a light south breeze at 5 to 10. 64 in the morning, 83 by noon. This time around, though, I'm thinking afternoon highs around 88 degrees. Here, the future track's kind of a little hot when it comes to temperatures. For now, we'll say upper 80s for highs. I think we're generally quiet to start Wednesday out, but as that upper low from the southwest starts to roll in, you can see how the rain chances ramp up, impacting highs for Wednesday. We're talking about mid-80s for highs. But the setup stays rather unsettled, but we'll take these rain chances because we'll need them. Look at the rain chances sticking around through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and trying to taper off once we get past Sunday and then drying out by next week. So this is the type of setup where we've got rain chances picking back up on Wednesday, off and on rain chances though, taking us off fortunately through the weekend, but the chance to pick up anywhere between an inch on the low end to as much as 2.5 inches by the time these rain chances are said and done. So we'll be glad to take these rain chances because we can certainly use some, but we'll keep things quiet for tomorrow though, Dow. 88 for tomorrow, 84 on Wednesday, and as these rain chances ramp up, highs in the upper 70s to near 80.
Wow, bring on the rain. We could use it. Thanks, Dave. Flights on the Spanish island of La Palma are grounded as lava shoots from a volcano that began erupting more than a week ago. The force of the hot rock crumbling a church, engulfing the bell tower before it collapsed. Rivers of lava have swallowed up hundreds of homes, turning much of the island into a barren, burning landscape. As the lava creeps toward the sea, coastal residents are being warned to stay inside over toxic gas fears. Coming up, the growing vacation trend of renting private residences at hotels. First, though, we honor a local World War I veteran. Pietro Petrossi served in the U.S. Army. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Department of Transportation has fined United Airlines $1.9 million for more than 25 flights that sat on the ground for several hours. Transportation officials said the incidents occurred between December of 2015 and February of this year. More than 3,200 passengers were trapped on planes without being given a chance to disembark. It's the largest fine imposed by the government for extended delays. Vaccine boosters could rake in billions for drug makers. A Morningstar analysis is predicting that COVID-19 booster shots will bring in about $26 billion in sales for Pfizer and BioNTech next year, and about $14 billion for Moderna. Pfizer's booster was just approved in the U.S. last week for certain groups. The price of the pandemic. According to a new bank rate survey, 42% of consumers with credit card debt added to it since March of 2020. 47% said the pandemic was to blame, while 53% cited other reasons. Millennials were the most likely to be affected financially by the pandemic, but 60% of consumers expect to be debt-free within 5 years. More vacationers are gravitating towards staying in private residences during the pandemic to socially distance and have their own space. And many of the residences are in hotels. Wendy Gillette reports on the trend from Watch Hill, Rhode Island.
Daniel Eastman surveys the view from the vacation home he bought 6 months ago at the Preserve Sporting Club and Residences in Richmond, Rhode Island. The Preserve boasts the longest automated indoor shooting range in the U.S. and an outdoor playground with golf, fishing, and clay target shooting.
I'm able to participate when I want to, or be on 3,700 acres. I can be alone if I want to be.
But it was the Preserve's overnight rentals of his home that sold him.
We bought it knowing that we were going to be able to use it 40 to 50 days a year, and that I would have the ability to rent it and help offset my expenses.
It's already paying off during the pandemic.
Because anytime an owner lets us put a property on the market, we rent it almost immediately.
Residences at the Preserve's sister property, the Ocean House, here in Watch Hill, Rhode Island, have also been in high demand, selling out most days this summer.
The private residence and villas are very popular due to the size. We have anywhere from 1 bedroom to 8 bedrooms, so families can get together and have their own kitchen, their own space.
At the tennis and golf-centric Wild Dunes Resort in Isle of Palm, South Carolina, a new hotel just sprang up. But with guests wanting more space, the resort's residences and beachfront cottages have been in short supply. In nearby Charleston, the Restoration's 20 residences have been the hotel's lifeblood during COVID, thanks to in-unit washer and dryers and gourmet kitchens.
We're really proud to say that, the residences are kind of what has kept our lights on and kind of kept our machine running.
Guests can also book in-room couples massages, chef-prepared feasts, and even private horse carriage rides, offering lots of socially distanced ways to enjoy a residence stay. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The price for an in-room chef at the Restoration starts at $150 plus the cost of courses. In-room massages start at $120. Tesla owners can now request their cars go fully automated. Drivers have to press a button on the dashboard screen. Tesla will then monitor the person's driving ability for things like braking, turning, and unsafe following over the next week before granting access. A final check of the forecast up next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from officials with Medical Lodge about the company's employee vaccination policy. Plus, Missouri health officials discuss a modified quarantine policy with schools. And the Missouri Department of Conservation plans to test hundreds of deer for COVID-19 this hunting season. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Unusually warm for late September in the 4 states.
Yeah, and we'll have to repeat it all over again for tomorrow, Dal. At least we'll keep things dry for Tuesday with highs back around 88. But once we hit Wednesday, our next upper wave coming out of the desert southwest will roll in, knock us back into the 80s and 70s for highs. Plus, it'll give us a chance to catch up on rain Wednesday through Sunday. If anyone missed that forecast, we'll break that system down again coming up at 6.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we will be right back here for 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.